Ralph and Lucinda are changing into skiing gear in the back of a hatchback car. Lucinda pulling on salad patés. You shouldn't have laughed at that person with the sticking out teeth. He saw you. Oh, come on, you laughed yourself. Not out loud, I didn't. I had the good manners to snigger quietly to myself. He's got no right to have teeth like that. He can't help his teeth, Ralph. He didn't ask for them, did he? He hasn't been to a dentist and said, here's my wallet. I want a set of teeth that people will laugh at in hotel dining rooms at 8:15 in the morning. And he hasn't been to a dentist and said, give me new teeth either, hasn't he? He's obviously got the money. Ralph, no amount of orthodontic expertise could help that man. That's why it's incumbent on spectators not to laugh. His poor wife. Poor? She paid at least 10 grand a piece for those tits. You could ski down them. It'd be a bloody sight warmer and all. Ralph, keep your voice down. We're in Aviemore. We are not in Aviemore, Lucinda. We're in the Cairngorms. When you are asked where we've been, you say we've been skiing in the Cairngorms. Not yet, we haven't. When we get back, we have, if anyone asks. We have to pass through Aviemore to get here. But we don't stop. Well, I think Aviemore looks nice. Tasteful. Chalets and greenery and stuff. A pizza parlor. We won't be stopping. Do you know what the incidence of VD is in Aviemore? Of course I don't. How would I? It's high, Lucinda. Mega high. How do you know? I read it. Where? We read the same paper. I didn't read it. Oh, I read it in a book. You haven't got a book. I had a book. Once. When? I've never known you have a book. Before we met. We've been married forever. So the statistics are out of date. You're wrong, Ralph, admit it. Aviemore has mega VD statistics. The queue goes out of the door. I know. Lucinda puts her ski jacket on. She zips it up. Oh, Jesus. God. What? You came here skiing with Ton from work. Oh, Jesus. God, you got VD. No, I didn't. Tom did. I didn't. Lucinda starts to put her ski boots on now. You didn't make love to me for months after you came back. You said you got a trauma because you saw a dead body brought down on the chairlift. I did. I'll never forget that shrouded figure. No, Ralph. Not a shrouded figure. A naked figure. Somebody's naked figure. A girl's. A woman's in your hotel room. Lucinda, if Tom slept with a woman, then so did you. Oh, Ralph, you did. You did. When Tom got a video phone, you did. When Tom got his first hair weave, you did. Oh, Ralph, you slept with a woman in Aviemore, didn't you? I didn't. You did. You got VD. Keep your voice down. We're on the top of a bloody mountain. Voices carry. Ralph, we're grown-up married people. Tell me the truth. Tell me you got VD. Tell me. I can take it. Who was she? Young? Old? Fat? Thin? Infected? Who was she? I don't even remember her name. Bruh. Do my boots up. No, I'm not. Just don't. Just do my boots. Ralph does her boots. Lucinda's boots. Her name. It escapes me. She was jolly. Jolly? You don't like jolly people? They irritate you. I can't remember her name. I knew it. Ralph and Lucinda, they both stand in ski boots. Hair, black. Length, short. Body, muscular, not at calf muscles. I remember that. Jesus. Twice. I only screwed her twice. I was here for 5 days. Marion? Marion. That was her name. That was her name. That was her name. Marion, of course. Marion. Jolly Marion. You preferred her to me. They clump about in their boots. The argument gets heated. No, you were in Manchester, and Marion was here in the Cairngorms. Ralph, you were married to me. Come on, Luce. I'm sorry, I am. She was lousy. It was a disaster both times. I believed you about that body, and how it gave you that trauma, and shriveled your dick up. She was horrible. I was drunk. She was drunk. Have you seen her since? No. She went back to Japan. Japan? What was she doing going to Japan? She was Japanese. Well, is Japanese. With a name like Marion? She was Japanese. Japanese people are not called Marion, and they do not have VD. You've been with other men. No, Ralph, I have not. Only you. Only you. Look. I have driven 300 bloody miles for this. So let's go skiing, shall we? Pick your skis up. No, I can't. It's in the past. Not for me, it's not. I've only just found out. The world has changed. Oh, for Christ's sake. I wondered why we had to watch that telly series. The Japanese one. 12 boring weeks of it. I haven't given her another thought. Japanese Marion. They were so cruel in that war. She wasn't born in that war. Young was she? 18. 18? Oh no, Ralph, not 18. I can't compete with 18. Luce, how do I like my cheddar? What? Cheddar cheese. I like it mature, don't I? Same as women. So I had a brief flirtation. I'm going back. To the hotel? No, to England. Luce, you're overreacting again. Lucinda picks up a ski stick and swipes Ralph with it. I may kill you. She doesn't count. She was a foreigner. Push you off the mountain. When she came in Japanese. It meant nothing to me. Nothing. I couldn't understand what she was saying. You've never made me come. Don't be silly. You've had multi-orgasms 3 times a week. Prove it. Well, you have 3 holidays a year. Sex isn't everything. I want to come and I want a baby. What? People are looking. Shh, don't talk like that. I'll buy you a baby. How much are they? Fetch my checkbook. Bloody Marion's got a baby, I bet. They're in southern Tokyo with slanty eyes and your chin. Yes, bleeding Marion showing the kid your skiing photos. This is your father, son. One day we go back and meet him. His name is Ralph. He is the biggest important boss of Drinking Straw Factory in Derbyshire. Lucinda knocks Ralph down. He lies on his back with his skis tangled together. Cheerio, Ralph. Sayonara. Oh boy. Time jump. 2 months later, April in Derbyshire. Very high ground. In the far distance, a group of 6 tower blocks. The sun is shining. There is a slight wind. A lamb bleats occasionally. Dot and Pete, a couple dressed in ragged summer clothing, are dragging a pile of firewood on a plastic sack. I shall have to stop. They let go of the sack. Dot drops onto the ground. Pete faces the audience looking at the view. Ain't it nice, Dot? Look how far everything is. How far away. Lovely. She leans back and closes her eyes to let the sun shine in her face. My hands are black. Shall we stop at the river? River's in Spate. You can't go swimming. Ah, just a wash. There's a lamb's been born. I can see him. I can hear him. In fact, I can taste him. How many miles we done today? We've been out about 4 hours. About as long as that wood'll last on the fire. Don't need it today, though. No? Oh, it's lovely to be out. And it's free. They can't sell the sunshine, though I bet the buggers have put their minds to it. Dot undoes her blouse. She's wearing a dingy bra underneath. She lies full out sunbathing. She pulls her skirt up to her thighs. You look happy, Dot. I am today. You like to be warm, don't you? Don't go to sleep. I'll have to wake you if you do, and then you'll be mad at me. You're soft as shit. She sits up. You know that man that got hung? Yeah. Was it a sheep he stole or a lamb? It was a lamb. A dead one. He found it in a ditch. So don't get thinking. I wasn't. I just wondered. Do you know who Eddie Cochran is, Pete? No. Who is he? He was a singer. It's scratched on the lift door. Eddie Cochran lives. Somebody took a chance. Daft. Fancy risking it. She lies down again, sighing and stretching. I'm happy today. It was a good day at work. Getting that wood. Can I lie next to you, Dot? Oh, that sun. Pete takes his coat and his trousers off. He lies on his back for a moment and then turns towards Dot. You look ever so nice. My hand keeps wanting to touch your skin. Well, let it. Pete strokes Dot's legs. Wouldn't it be good to build a house just here? It'd be blown away once the wind got up. But wouldn't it be good? I put windows here and there. He indicates right and left forward. And a front door here. What about there? She indicates towards the tower block. No, I wouldn't want to look at them. He turns to look at tower blocks. I can see our room. The sun shining on the winder. I'd have a garden. We got one. No, we ain't. Where? We're in it. It's ours, all this, far as you can see. She stands and looks. No, we're trespassing here. We're law-breaking. I'm scared all the time. We're out. Just in case. He kicks at the pile of wood. That's government wood. No, it ain't. No more than the rocks is government, or the ridge, or the water in the river. They were here before they had a government, and they'll be here when all the governments in the world have buggered off and left. It's all just here. So don't be scared, Pete. It was put here for all of us, and we just took our share, that's all. I hate you when you say you're scared. Well, I ain't really scared, I'm just worried. You don't hate me, Dot. Well, don't talk like that. Don't give in. Once you say you're scared or worried, they've got you. They've took you over. They've got inside you and took over your brain and changed how you think. Be happy. Think about your garden. Your private garden. You'd have a privet hedge, wouldn't you? And conifers. You'd have conifers. She lies down next to Pete. No, I won't. Not conifers. I hate conifers. That's an insult, Dot. All right, I take it back. It's always you who has the last word. All right, you have it. Pete sulks while Dot sunbathes. Just because you're cleverer than me, I don't want to leave school at 13. It were the law. I said I take it back. I apologized. Just because you're older. I used to be. You're an old man now. I'm 13 years younger than you. I know. I wanted you straight off. Pete is pleased. He's about to hear a familiar litany. Did you? What did you like about me? The back of your neck, first. Second, you know what? You didn't see that, not for a week or two. You were young. Your skin was stretched tight, and you had like some sort of you had no age on you. You had no wickedness in your face. It were you that were wicked. It were you that took me, Cherry. I know, but wasn't it lovely? It was. I'm glad, Dot. It would have been hopeless out here without you. You'd have managed. No. I wouldn't. I would have done, but I wouldn't. I'd have chucked myself out of the window like me mates. Spongebacks. That's what your mates were. Spongebacks. Take your own life away. Give them the satisfaction of seeing you sprawled in a heap with your brains running into each other. It's hard. They couldn't take it. Well, we can. I don't care how hard it gets. We're a family of two. We look after each other. We're staying on that computer until nature kills us. We get us money tomorrow. Food, Pete. Can I have a tin of beans? If they're in the shop. He stopped stroking my legs. Did you like it? I did like it. Shall I stroke you all over in the sunshine? Yes. And in the wind. Yes. And shall we make a baby? Don't call it that. We can't ever make a baby. It's just my name for it. It's a stupid name. Say, shall I make love to you, Dot, or shall I screw you, Dot? I don't like that word. You shouldn't say it. Who are you? This is Rosie Perez and Woody Harrelson all over again. Shall I make love to you, Pete? In the sunshine and in the wind? Shall I stroke you all over? Shall I hear you breathing fast and saying my name and shouting when you come? You're making me big. Good. I want you big, and I want you to fill me up. They lie face to face. We go back to Lucinda and Ralph. Lucinda and Ralph buy a baby. A desk. 2 low-slung chairs. Ralph and Lucinda sitting in them. Ralph squirms about trying to get comfortable. Ralph, sit still. Look, Luce, I know all about this chair's psychology. He'll be up there looking down on us and we'll be flopping about like dying goldfish. So, I'll stand. Ralph struggles out of his chair. Ralph, for God's sakes, we're here to buy a baby, not to indulge in chit-chat about furniture. Sit down. Alan, the salesman enters. Alan Cathcart, and you must be Mr. and Mrs. Darling. How very, very nice. Ralph and Alan shake hands. This is my wife, Mrs. Darling. A darling indeed. He shakes Lucinda's hand. Please excuse my moist palm. She's nervous. Thinks she'll turn us down. Oh, now, we can't have that. Please sit back in your chair. Relax, Mrs. Darling. Think of me as a friend. I'll try. Ralph and Lucinda sit right back in the low-slung chairs. I've been looking at your records. Very impressive. They are, too. Very, very sound financially. Very, very good citizenship report. A little heavy on the drinking, Ralph. Shows you're human, eh? I'd like a drink myself. And of course, I work hard. Very, very hard. It's all in here. Look, I want to help you, sure. But I've got to be 100% certain that our products are going to be cherished. that they're truly wanted. Don't want you bringing one back, do we? We wouldn't be here if we didn't sincerely and wholeheartedly want a baby. Of course not. Right, so, a few questions, okay? Ralph takes Lucinda's hand. Fire away. So, you'd really like a baby? Yes, she would. And you, Ralph? I'm easy, but she really would like one. Wouldn't you, Luce? I've just said yes. Why, Lucinda? Why? Good question. Answer him, Luce. I'd like a baby because I failed to conceive one of my own. I've not even had the misfortune of a miscarriage. My fault. Thin sperm, Luce is in the clear. It hadn't used to bother me much, not having one. I've worked with Ralph. We've built up the business. Which is drinking straws, specials, cocktails, children's parties. I'd be a good mother. She would, maternal. She should have seen her with the dog. You spoon-fed her around the clock once, didn't you, Luce? Lucinda ignores Ralph. She leans towards Alan. Just recently, I've longed for a baby. My arms have felt completely empty. Like her brain. Actually, I am quite intelligent. Luce! I am. I kept quiet about it until now. I knew you wouldn't like it. I've had to rein back my vocabulary, forego the use of multi-syllabled words. What's she talking about? See? I do indeed, Lucinda. Ralph, can you name one advantage of having a baby living with you in your house? One advantage? He stares ahead, whistling between his teeth. Shakes his head. Ralph doesn't know. In the car, you were saying how lovely it would be to buy toys for a little one, weren't you? Oh yeah, I love toy shops. Bloody tragedy of life, isn't it? That when you're a kid, you look in the window, wanting something so badly and you know you'll never have it, because you're skint. Then, soon as you know you're grown up and you've got the money, well, you can't, can you? You can't walk in and buy toys for yourself, can you? You'd enjoy playing with a small child then, Ralph. Oh yeah, I put time aside in a day for that. An hour at least. And in that hour I shall rest and practice being my own person, in another room. You've certainly done your homework, talked it through. Till dawn, bird song, bags on the rise. We've examined our marriage for obvious and hidden defects, but we concluded that in spite of certain difficulties, we'd make fantastic parents. You realize, Lucinda, that you would have to stop working. Yes, I'm fully conversant with the regulations. Quite frankly, it would be a relief to stop working. Sending out invoices for drinking straws is hardly totally fulfilling, is it? Don't knock the straws loose. They've given you a good life. Even, dare I say it, a lifestyle. Think about the trade exhibitions. You'd miss them. I wasn't knocking the straws, Ralph, but I think that a baby would be more fulfilling. I'd do a good job. The government would be proud of me. And I wouldn't miss the trade exhibitions, Ralph. Birmingham, Harrogate, Brighton, Leeds. I've been there. Done it. It's time my energy was directed towards something more meaningful. Motherhood. Why prolong the agony, eh? Yes, we'll sell you a baby. Ralph! She tries to get out of the chair. Ralph gets up and pulls her free off the chair. They embrace. Luce, oh my beautiful Lucinda, you're gonna be a mummy. Oh, thanks. Do you want a laboratory-grown baby, or do you want to give birth yourself? Oh, I want to give birth. I want to experience the agony and the joy. I want to come through the ordeal. and I want Ralph there to see me do it. Now, there's something... You may be disappointed, but I'm afraid the quota for boys is full for this year. Ralph, obviously disappointed. Okay, so what's left? Girls. Yes, girls. There was a time when one couldn't be so definite. But now there are just the two sexes. What? You don't want to wait? How long for a boy? Next January. I don't want to wait, Luce. I'd set my heart on a boy. A lad, a son. No, a girl would be lovely. She would have to be pretty. All our girls are pretty. We'll have a beautiful one. A head turner. I'll pay extra. She must have a good brain. Not too good. I don't want her looking down on her old mum and dad, but bright enough to pass her exams. We're hoping she'll make it to grade 2. Oh, I just missed getting her 2. Had a distant relation with a criminal record. Shoplifting, a ton of pill kits. Oh, what a shame. Just think. If it wasn't for a tin of pilchards, you could be living in the home counties. Oh, fate is vile. Is your section the same as ours? Watford Gap to Scotch Corner? Yes. I can holiday in the Cairngorms or Penzance. Same, us. Oh, what a very small world we live in. A staggering coincidence. Can we get back to choosing our daughter, please? There are 5 grade 3 females to choose from. Just show us the blondes. Oh, with blue eyes, 5'6". Any bigger and there could be trouble in the years to come with men. On a screen appears a picture of a blonde blue-eyed child of 2. Ah, she's a little cracker. A sweetheart. Is there another one? On the screen appears another picture of a less attractive 2-year-old. Oh, it's the first one, isn't it, Ralph? She'll do for me. Numero uno. Of course, she'll inherit some of yours and your wife's features and characteristics as well. We're not breeding a society of clones here. So, when will you do the business? Well, according to your wife's menstrual cycle, the next suitable day would be Thursday at 11:30, and you can have the simple medical procedure or something more celebratory. Oh, such as? Oh, you know, balloons, party poppers, time to coincide with the moment that the sperm meets the ovum. What do you think, Luce? Fancy a little party next Thursday? We ought to mark the occasion. Yes, a few party poppers. And champagne as well. And champagne. Maybe some Chardonnay or, I don't know, vodka? I'll supply the straws. But where will I get the straws from? Not entirely sure about that. But anyway, and do you want a video recording of the ceremony? Something to treasure in the years ahead? No, I prefer to keep my private parts private. Haha, very funny. Oh well, in that case, I don't want a baby on the cheap, Ralph. What will she think if she finds out she was 20% off? She'll think it was good business practice. Yeah, give us the discount. Oh, a video star, eh, Luce? Make sure you get your legs waxed. Right, so if you can give me a check made out to Government Babies Limited. Oh, sure. Is there VAT on the babies? Weird. The orderly changes the salesman office into the venue for the conception ceremony. She talks to the audience. I keep thinking it's Friday. I'm off this weekend, going to see my mum. She's only got 5 months to go. 3 days, 5 months. She's being difficult though. She says that I have to come and get her. She won't do it herself. I'm hoping she'll change her mind. It could reflect badly on me. She doesn't see why she should have to go at all. She says she's fit and well and good for another 20 years. She thinks she's invincible. The invincible woman. I've said to her, what's the point of living on after 70 years? You're not working. You're not generating wealth. Your brain will go. Your body will fall apart. It's unpatriotic. You'll be a parasite. She's still living in the old days when people died all over the place. On holiday, in the car, in shops. It was inconvenient and it caused a lot of disruption. People having days off, worked for funerals, rushing about with death certificates. I said, Mom, you're being selfish. It's a tiny injection and then a long sleep. You deserve it. You've worked hard. But she wouldn't listen. I hope she'll be in. She sometimes goes off at the weekends. Painting with an easel she found on a rubbish tip. She walks miles with this easel thing under her arm. She's a terrible embarrassment to me, and you know what she paints. The countryside. Don't ask me why. She's got all these little pictures. All these little pictures up on the walls in her room. It's a sign of senility. I mean, there are professionals whose job it is to paint pictures. She doesn't need to do it. I'm surprised she's got away with it for so long. And now this stubborn attitude she's taken towards Death Day. Well, she'll have to go along with it. I've booked the day off for it and I can't go chopping and changing. It's on the computer now, so that's final. It'll be a relief for me when she's gone. I can concentrate on my work. At the moment, I'm a bag of nerves, wondering what the daft old bat will do next. If it gets out about the pictures... She takes a card out of her pocket and checks the room. Lucinda Darling, husband Ralph, Government Section 3, Secular, Religious and Video Ceremony. Ready? Wheel him in. 10 seconds. She stands and picks her teeth with the edge of the card. I hope she'll be in. We are now at the fertilization ceremony, a quasi-religious setting with a priest. Alan is present with Ralph and Lucinda. There is an altar-like structure. Before we start, sweetheart, can you manage a smile now and then to the camera? This is a religious ceremony, Mr. Cathcart. And haven't you got a spot of lipstick? I don't wear lipstick. You'll be sorry when you see the video. How old are you? I'm in my 40s. I'd have said 10 years older. Spot of lipstick, eh? To give the illusion of youth. The orderly applies lipstick to the priest. Amazing difference. Another woman. Right, you can start now. Forget about the camera. But remember to smile. We're flogging babies here, not headache pills. I wasn't told that I was officiating at a sales promotion, Mr. Cathcart. I'm afraid I can't go ahead. At least not until you agree to increase my fee. And what about residuals? Alright, I'll talk to your agent. You're with Binky Brown Associates, aren't you? For the moment, but the work he's been getting me lately. Time to go, sweethearts. First positions, everyone. Cheer up, Lucinda. Right video on and go. Come forward, Lucinda. Lucinda goes forward. Lucinda, repeat after me. With the fertile egg I do bear in my womb, I do offer my life, my thoughts, my peace of mind, my work. Lucinda repeats the words. Hast thou the egg? I have. Lucinda passes an egg to the priest, who breaks it into a chalice. Come forward, Ralph. Ralph goes forward. Repeat after me the following words. With this seed I do give life in the knowledge that in so doing I offer the most precious of gifts. Ralph repeats the words. Hast thou thy seed? I have. The priest takes a packet of seed from Ralph and puts the seed into the chalice. Who does deign to join together this egg and this seed? Alan steps forward. I do, being a representative of the government. Hast thou the catalyst? I have. He produces a test tube from his inside pocket. The priest takes both test tubes and empties the contents into the chalice. She takes a glass rod and stirs the contents. As I stir this egg, this seed and this sperm, I make 3 wishes. The first is that the child be obedient. The second is that the child be worthy. The third is that the child shall respect the state, which ultimately gives it life. Now join hands. Alan, Lucinda, and Ralph join hands. The priest blesses them and raises the chalice above their heads. She then offers the chalice to them. They drink. Contents. The priest intones, O beloved government, who art so mighty and so strong, bless these your children, Lucinda and Ralph and their unborn child. Keep this little family prosperous and healthy and sensible of their obligation to maintain the purity of this lineage. O-U-R, government. We will now sing, There's a Friend for Little Children. Everyone sings. Lucinda is led to the altar by the priest. She lies down. The cloth is put over her belly. The chalice is put on the altar. The priest leaves, still singing. Ralph stands to one side of the stage. He lights a cigar. He is very nervous. Ralph, I'm frightened. Will it hurt? Quiet, Lucinda. You're in church. Lie down like a good girl. Alan turns his back to the audience, and in the manner of a magician, changes into top hat, glittering waistcoat and bow tie. He carries a magician's stick. Hello there, and welcome to the secular ceremony. I'm Sales Director of Government Babies Limited, and this, he extends his arm, is my lovely assistant, Orderly Meadowcroft. The orderly enters, dressed as a magician's assistant. She dips and smirks, then goes to work arranging a device over Lucinda's belly. She puts a long syringe in place. As she works, Alan continues his patter. May I say what an honor and a privilege it is for me to be officiating on this day, at this hour, and indeed at the very moment, no moment of conception. Ralph, Lucinda. He extends his arms towards Ralph and Lucinda. I know you're going to make great parents. Just a little about these 2 fine people. First, Ralph. Ralph Darling is a self-made man, born in Brighton in humble circumstances. He was ill-educated, lacking capital, and he had socialist parents. Despite these handicaps, Ralph, by dint of an 18-hour day, and by showing qualities of ruthlessness and ambition, managed to make it into Section 3. What's it like up there in Section 3, Ralph? Mega good. Indeed, mega good. Ralph first served his government in the army, where he distinguished himself many times, being instrumental in the de-unionizing of many powerful industries. For this he was awarded Class 3 status. Ralph spreads his hand modestly. After leaving the army, Ralph met and married his delicious wife, Lucinda. In Ralph's own words, I saw her. I wanted her. I got her. Lucinda Minehead, as she was then, was swept overboard by Ralph's overpowering personality. And 1 year after their first meeting, at an indoor shooting range, their union was sanctified by our government. From the start, theirs was an ecstatic marriage. However, they were not blessed with the child that they longed for. Ralph shed many secret tears, as did Lucinda, but today they are to conceive that child. He looks at his watch. The lights fade apart. From the spotlight altar, drum roll. Do you believe in babies? If you do, keep very, very quiet and very still. He stills the audience. The orderly presses the syringe. The contents glow in the dark. Conception. Ralph and Lucinda have a baby. Balloons drop. Ralph catches one and gives it to Lucinda. Music plays the song 10 Tiny Fingers, 10 Tiny Toes. The orderly sings and tap dances her way around the stage. After one chorus, she stops and turns to the audience. Are you thinking of having a baby? If you are, why not go one better and add that extra ingredient? Government sperm. Give your baby that authority, that character, that unmistakable something that proclaims, my baby's a government baby. Government babies are the best. Quiet, docile, and sleeping through the night at 3 weeks. Fatty eaters. Forget it. Tantrums at the checkout. A thing of the past. Rude and rebellious during the teenage years. You must be joking. Not with a government baby. They come in many colorways apart from black and are fully guaranteed for 70 years. Go on, make your baby a government baby. Music plays. She sings 10 tiny fingers, 10 tiny toes. Alan joins in with the harmony. They tap dance at the very front of the stage. Lucinda sits on the altar clutching a balloon. She is uncomfortable and forgotten by everyone. In my opinion, this play is very weird and very deep, and it concentrates on another religion. Plus, they're worshipping the government, and that is horrible. Plus, they say they have babies that are of different colors apart from black. The author of this play, Sue Townsend, it's clear that she wasn't messing around. Scene 6. We are now at the wilderness in Derbyshire. Winter. A room in a tower block. Very few furnishings. Everything was originally something else. The light is very dim. Dot and Pete are asleep in a makeshift bed. They are dressed in rags and covered in rags and old coats. A ragged curtain covers a picture window which shows a snow-covered ridge, and in the distance, moorland. A police officer, breathless from climbing the stairs, pushes the door open. She adjusts her eyesight to the dim light, then switches the light switch on, but there is no light working in the room. Dorothy Bird, the bedclothes move. Dorothy Bird. Pete stirs, sits up in bed. The police officer releases her automatic rifle from its shoulder holster. Don't! Is that your wife? Yes. Dorothy Bird? Yes. Dorothy sits up in alarm. Pete puts his arm around her. Stand up. Pete gets out of bed. Not you, her. Dot gets up and stands by the bed. She pulls the rags over her belly. Pull your clothes away from your belly. They know. She pulls her clothes away. She is 6 months pregnant. Dorothy Bird of room 109, Ridley Tower, section 5, Axley Edge, Derbyshire. Ackley Bridge. I charge you with being unlawfully pregnant. I had my tubes tied 16 years ago. It weren't my fault. It just happened. You should have reported your first missed period. You know that, don't you? Don't you? Yes. So why didn't you? We wanted a baby. I see. You wanted to share your life with a child, did you? Give it the benefit of your education. Share the material advantages of your lovely home. Give it everything you never had. Dot and Pete hang their heads. They don't want Section 5's breeding. That is why there is a law, a government law forbidding it. I'm sorry. I'm not. It's not asking much, is it, to have a baby? We've got nothing else. On the contrary, Mrs. Bird, you've got a great deal. Fresh air, magnificent views. Is that Congleton there in the distance? Don't know. Silence, the cry of birds, the clouds passing. Breathtaking. Fetching the water from the river. Advantages from the vascular system. Put your clothes on, Mrs. Bird. They're on. I see. These are they. Are they? Yes. I don't see how you can do your job. You couldn't do it? No, I couldn't. I don't see how any woman could. I'm not a woman. I'm a police officer. There are only two kinds of people in my world. Police officers and civilians. You're a woman. I'm a police officer, senior police officer in charge of the baby squad. You can't enjoy it. It gets me out. Is that gun loaded? Of course it's loaded. You may be surprised if I told you how many times I've used it. On pregnant women, on lawbreakers. Do you shoot them through the belly? Do you? I shoot if my own life is threatened. Some of the women go, quite literally, mad. Don't lose your temper, Dot. Don't go mad. It's all right, love. I won't. Dot goes to Pete. Where's she going? To the town. How long is it since you went to the town, Mrs. Bird? Since we were classified, weren't it, Pete? Long while ago. Can't remember. Is it Buxton you're going to? Yes, Buxton. Can I come? No, Mr. Bird. You stay here and admire the view. You're a countryman. Would you say it was going to snow? I don't know. The radio's broken. I've hidden a great heap of firewood by the hanging rock. Don't go mad with it, will you? Eke it out. Will they take the baby off you, Dot? I hope not. Now don't forget to fetch the water before dark, will you? No, firewood and water. Nothing else. Dot looks around the room, giving it a last check. Not that I can think of. The police officer is looking at a small picture frame. And who are these laughing boys then? That's me and my mates. It was taken our first day at work. So you have worked. He's had 3 jobs. Concrete post handler, grass cutter, and motorway maintenance. First job I was 14, that were for manpower services. Second job I was 15, that were for a council scheme. Third job I was 16, that were called job training. Then I was out. Then I was sent to live here. Have you got a toothbrush? No. A handbag? No. Say goodbye. She turns her back to allow them privacy. Dot and Pete clutch each other passionately. It is obvious they care for and need each other. 10 Tiny Fingers and 9 Tiny Toes, written by Sue Townsend.